Good evening, and welcome to A Grieving Mother's Journey, Leakland, where we air every Sunday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. with open mic every third Sunday from 6:20 to 6:50 p.m. We bring grieving mothers together to share, trust, and bond with one another, and to spread awareness of the pain that is caused when others choose to take a life by violence, and the various struggles we face on a daily basis just to make it through the day. I hope that this will make those that are on that horrible path think twice and turn their lives around. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of A Grieving Mother's Journey. We are now on episode 7 in season 1, and our title tonight is Homicide and Trauma Support. We do have a guest coming on board, and her name is Scharnelle Hamlin. You will be seeing her shortly. But first, I just wanted to make an announcement. You guys know that's been following me. I've kind of been doing this for a little while now. I just have an announcement coming up. Just don't forget that coming up in May will be my son's 3rd year anniversary, and I'll be doing a special segment on that. Dates as of right now look like to be maybe the 12th or the 13th through the 15th, but I'm still kind of working on it, putting things together. You'll be able to hear the story from beginning to end. Now, of course, it's not going to be for the full 23 years, but there's going to be key points of things throughout Malik's years, all up until his death. We're going to have some wonderful speakers, good friends of his, true friends of his, as well as family members that are going to share awesome memories with you guys. So look out for that. It'll be scheduled soon. And I hope that you guys will all join us. The second announcement I do have is, not announcement, it is an announcement, but I just wanted to remind people that there's 2 things. So we are always looking for guests that want to come on and share their story. I am really looking for grieving dads. Dads tend to be forgotten a lot throughout that. And even though the grief between a mom and a dad is a slight difference between the two, our dads grieve too, right? So, they need to be involved with this. They're human. And even though they didn't deliver that child, they are a part of that child. So they matter. And if there's any dads out there that would like to come on and share anything, please come on board. We'd kind of like to hear your side on, how dads grieve, what you're going through, what we can do to help with that. That would be awesome. Lastly, there was another one that I totally forgot about. I am so sorry. This stuff is not really scripted, so I kind of just say things off the top of my head, or, it's not always planned. So anyway, that's what I have for the announcements. And also, the streams are not working in the private group page. So I normally stream on the A Grieving Mother's profile page, and where anyone, you can go and view it there. But however, I think I kind of messed up tonight. It was working, and then I went out of it. And when I tried to go back in, it was too late because I had to start the podcast. But don't worry, moving forward, I know not to do that. You'll be able to view it there. But, in the meantime, you can always view on our YouTube page. So don't forget that. So let me tell you a little bit about our guest tonight. Again, her name is Scharnelle Hamlin, and we'll be talking about homicide and trauma, and she'll also be sharing some valuable information for you during this podcast. So Scharnelle is a resident of Surrey County, which is, in Virginia. She is a dedicated, nationally credentialed advocate with over 18 years of experience in victim advocacy and a decade of experience in crisis response. Holding the esteemed designation of comprehensive victim intervention specialist, Scharnelle has provided unwavering support to homicide survivors and trauma victims, ensuring that they receive resources and assistance needed to regain control of their lives. So, just by that little bit right there, she sounds very awesome. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy listening to her. And also throughout her extensive career, Scharnelle has worked in various capacities, including victim witness services, crisis response, mental health counseling, and community resource coordination. She's passionate about fostering resilience, justice, and healing. And Scharnelle continues to be a driving force in supporting individuals through some of their most challenging moments. Now, when I bring her on board, she's going to share a little bit more, about her credentials and, share a little bit about her own story of loss as well. Don't forget, around 6:30, we're going to go ahead. We're going to open up the phone lines so that you can call in, ask questions, share your story, or just give her some kudos and thank her for taking the time out of her day to come on here to share and to try to help you. So, and lastly, I did post the link if anybody wants to come on board on the platform and speak with Scharnelle, or, share anything that you'd like to share. If you're too shy to do that, the phone lines are always there. You're always welcome to call in when given the cue. So without further ado, I'd like to bring Scharnelle on board. Everybody, please give her a warm welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Hi. Wow, I can hear you much better now. I don't know what I did, but I think I that. Wow, this is awesome. Yay. Yes, so welcome, Scharnelle. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us here on the platform. And
thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. We appreciate you taking the time to do that. Excuse me one moment. I'm trying to find the plug for the phone line.
No problem, because I'm trying to cut my mother's phone off.
Oh. Here we go. All right. So yes, this is awesome. Everything is sounding great. I know the past couple episodes, for some reason, I had a couple of difficulties going on and, some challenges, but that's all right. God got this and it's going to continue to move ahead.
Absolutely.
So if you would just share a little bit about yourself, other than what I've already shared when I introduced you, just let the listeners know a little bit about you.
Okay. Well, aside from what you've heard, I am a Air Force veteran. I served about 6.5 years as a security forces.
I've always had Air Force.
Yes. Oh, I've always had a passion for criminal justice and just justice in general. So being an officer, it gave me the opportunity to work with members in the community, in the Air Force community. And so from there, I graduated from Old Dominion University. I have my Bachelor of Science in Human Services Counseling. Well, they changed it from Human Services Counseling. So I just majored in Human Services, and I have a concentration in psychology.
Awesome.
I furthered my studies at Liberty University, where I obtained my first master's in professional counseling. And because I just apparently like school, I went back 3 years later and I got a second master's in education with the adult development concentration. So I've always tried to gear myself towards any field of study where I can interact with people. I'm a people's person. I'm the only child. So anywhere that I can be around a lot of people, those are the jobs that I've always geared towards. But my passion is helping individuals. I knew I didn't want to be a teacher.
Awesome.
And I didn't want to be a counselor, because there's only a certain amount of trauma that I can take in where it doesn't affect me. And so it was just the ideal job for me. So I started out doing it as an intern in 2005, and 2025, here I am still advocating on behalf of crime victims, specifically homicide victims.
Awesome. And that's what we're here for. That's what this group is all about. Now, of course, I welcome everybody because I try to concentrate on grief and trauma as well. And, there's a lot of people grieving and going through trauma for different things. So, the main goal is just to help somebody or to avoid going through what us as parents are going through or have gone through. So that's the goal. But I love that the focus with you was on homicide because obviously I'm a victim,
Yeah.
of homicide. So this is really awesome. But I do have to mention one thing. I did not know that you were in the Air Force. I know when we talked in the
Yes.
last group, and listen, I'm a former Air Force spouse.
All right. All right.
Yeah, family Air
Thank you
Force.
for
In
your
fact,
service.
because you know what, our spouses, we serve too, don't we?
Absolutely.
But and my so a lot of my family's been military, not just Air Force, but Air Force, Army, Navy. My dad was in the military, but I think the only current member now is my nephew Dante. He
Okay.
actually just made Lieutenant Colonel. I'm so proud of him. Shout out to you, Dante, if you're listening.
Oh, Dante.
But yeah, so yeah, awesome. Go Air Force. I love Air Force.
Thank you. Some of the best years of my life were spent in the Air Force.
I bet. I bet. Yes, indeed. So, wonderful credentials. And again, we're so happy to have you here. So, why don't you start with share a little bit about your loss?
Okay, so the first time that I was introduced to homicide loss was when I lost my first cousin. His name was Travis Newby, but we were raised as siblings. As I mentioned, I am the only child. And so Travis and I shared a lot of firsts together. I would be on the phone with him at 11:59 because I wanted to always be the first person to wish him a happy birthday, which was January the 1st. My birthday is December the 31st.
Okay.
And so,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Wow.
and we were born like minutes apart, but 2 years apart. And
Wow.
so when Travis got married in 1999, which was July 24th, he already had a tux. I said, well, I'm going to get married the day after you. So you could just wear your tux to my service, and I'll wear my dress to your service, and then we can take it back. And he was everything to me. I mean, he was my protector. He was the person that if I told a secret to, it would stay with him. It would
I
not
know
leave
that's right.
his lips. And from Travis's death, I now teach about survivor's guilt, something that I live with. But I'm much better than I was before because the night that Travis was taken from me, and it's still emotional, when I talk about it. I cut my cell phone off at 6:59, and I put on my Facebook page, "Do not disturb me until after 7 o'clock gym time." And at that time, I cut my phone completely off, and my cousin was shot at 7 o'clock.
Oh,
Yes, the very first call to Smithfield Police Department came in at 7 o'clock. So, after I finished my workout, I have over 30 missed calls, text messages, and I'm like, what in the world happened? So I scrolled down the text message and I said, well, I'm going to decide to call my mom first because she had called me the most. And so when I called my mom and I said, what is going on? I have all these messages. She said, Travis has been shot. Travis has been shot. And my response was, Travis who? Now, mind you, we only have one Travis in our family, but he's the last person on this earth that I think that my mother would be talking about. And she said he was shot. And I'm literally not even 6 minutes. I would say at best 3.5 minutes from him because I was at the gym where his apartment complex was. And I remember telling my mom, I'm going to go to the hospital. And somehow or another, I think that was God's way of protecting me because I ended up going to the wrong hospital. I ended up going to Norfolk General, which is about 45 minutes from where I was, but I got there in 25. God, thankfully, I didn't hurt myself or anybody else. And so I get there and I'm like, I'm here to see Travis Newby. He came by Nightingale and they was like, we don't have a patient here. So I'm like, what in the world? Call my aunt. And she was like, baby, we're at Riverside, which is 30 minutes the opposite direction. And so I remember getting to Riverside and I remember everything about that day, the gym clothes that I had on. And for years, I would not put those gym clothes on because I related that to his death. And when I tell you, it was the slowest fall that I had ever saw in my life. I saw his youngest daughter sliding down the wall. That they had just got the news and her weight just fell.
Oh no.
And I have another cousin, which was Travis's niece, that was coming towards me because she knew I was about to lose it. And I just kept shaking my head. No, don't tell me this. No, don't tell me this. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And because his case was now a homicide, no one could see him. And you're talking about
Oh.
re-victimization.
Oh.
I remember asking every doctor, can you please just let his mother see him? She won't touch him. Can you just let her look at him through the window? And they said, I'm sorry, ma'am, it's a homicide and we can't allow anybody to see him. And just leaving him there, I felt that I deserted my best friend. I was not supposed to leave him there. But
Mm.
immediately that anger and that rage turned into advocacy. From that moment, I didn't want anyone else to go through or feel that pain, not even my worst enemy.
Mm.
And I made it up in my mind. We had to bury Travis on Christmas Eve, that my birthday wasn't going to be celebrated anymore. I didn't want to celebrate it because I didn't have my best friend to celebrate it with. I didn't have a cupcake to share and a candle to light with him. So December the 31st, I was sitting here in my house and I said, you know what, Travis, I'm going to get up. I'm going to put on a dress. I'm going to get my hair done. And I'm going to celebrate this one for us.
Oh.
Sure enough, I got dressed. You couldn't tell me anything. I just felt beautiful that moment. And 37 minutes after the ball dropped, my sister, my best friend of 28 years, calls me and she's screaming. And I'm thinking she's yelling, Happy New Year. And I'm just like, Happy New Year. And she was like, did you hear what I just said? They took my baby. They took my baby. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And finally I said, well, let me get into a place where I can hear you because I'm at this big New Year's Eve party. I'm working. And my sister said, they killed him. And I said, no. They killed who? And she said, they killed Tremaez, which is my nephew. And I said, not today. God, I know you didn't do this to me again. For 12 years, I haven't celebrated my birthday. And you mean to tell me for 37 minutes is all that I had. And my nephew's life was taken on Travis's birthday, January the 1st.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's how I started off my year, planning another funeral. And I came up with 2 acronyms that allow me to get through this journey. And it's pain and tears. And through my pain, I want to protect all in need. And through my tears, tough experiences always reveal strength.
I like that.
With faith, this is how I'm able to stand with families who have dealt with this traumatic pain and help them towards resiliency, because you'll never get over it. We learn to get
Absolutely. Through it. Thank you so much. I don't know how many of my podcasts that you've watched, but that is one of my main sayings. We're never going to get over it, but you navigate through it. And it's an everyday fight,
It is, because there are days where we're good, you know,
exactly.
We're laughing, and the next thing you know, you're pulling in your yard and you're a ball of tears and you can't
exactly.
Get out.
And it hits like a ton of bricks.
Perfectly fine. And I told my mom the other day, I said, I don't know who came up with a time heals all wounds. Time does not heal.
It has nothing to do with this type of wound.
Exactly.
You know, this type of wound. I as a matter of fact, Dr. Marcy, when she was on my podcast when she mentioned that. It was either that or when we did our monthly meeting. And, you know, no, it was during the podcast, and she had mentioned, which is something that I never really thought about, but there are levels to death, right? Or to loss.
Oh, absolutely.
And child loss is the number one most painful grieving process. It's just the number one, the loss of a child. And then something I knew that part because I've experienced that, you know. But the second one is when a son loses his mother. That's what falls underneath
right
the
underneath.
loss of a child. And I never knew that, you know. But of course, with me, I've experienced all the death, my brother, my mother, my father, my cousins, my nieces. I've experienced it all.
Mm-hmm.
But when I lost my son, um, there's no comparison.
None.
None. There's no comparison. But so now, how long ago was it that you lost your brother? I know your brother,
He's
meaning right,
yeah,
and your nephew. What years did they pass?
2019, excuse me, 2012 and 2021.
Oh, geez,
Yes. And I'm telling you, I've never looked at Christmas Eve the same. I was
I can
not
imagine.
supposed to bury my best friend on Christmas Eve.
Mm,
I wasn't. And I really wish that I could share like the screen what happened this year. So I typically don't go to their resting places on the day that they were taken. I typically go on their birthdays because that was the best day of my life for them, the day that they entered the
okay,
world.
okay.
So me and Travis had a tradition. We would have cupcakes. Well, I couldn't find any, so I took a honey bun out to his grave site.
I know that's right.
Listen, you got to use what you have. So I took a
You
honey
made
bun.
it work.
I had a 4 and a 9 and HBD in the middle. And I like these candles, and I promise you, all of them went out. I've shared this video. It's on my page because I thought I was going crazy. Every last candle went out. You hear me in the background crying, and I'm talking to him. I was like, the original boss, happy birthday. And one candle ignites. One candle.
And you have that on video?
I have it on video. You can
You're
see
not
his
able to share?
balloons. You can see his balloons that are just blowing in the wind, and this candle is not out. And I said, well, I guess you're
Oh,
waiting for
that
me.
that was
I
nothing
go
but
there
him.
and I blow his candle out. And I said, that is just another reassurance that I am exactly where God wants me to be. I'm doing
Mm.
exactly what my gift is. Because I'm
Wow.
telling you, I sent that video to so many people, and I was like, did y'all see that? Did it go out? Is it just me? And they was like, no, those candles were out. They were
I
completely out.
wish you could share. I know I can do share screen through the program. I don't know if it allows you to. Do you see any option for that?
Well, yes, it says present. So it probably would be presented. I'm quite sure that I can find it because I actually put it in a PowerPoint presentation, and
How
it's
long is the video?
55 seconds.
You want to try to share it? We still have some time before I open the phone lines.
Sure, let me
Let's try
see.
it. If worst cases doesn't work, that's okay. We'll figure it out next time.
Right.
But if it works, it works.
Okay, let's see if I can share entire screen. All right.
Okay, I see something down there.
Okay, so let me go to this PowerPoint because I know I definitely put it in my
That be
PowerPoint.
so. I think because I can see it and I can add it to the stage. I'll wait until you find it, and let's see. This is awesome. I learned something new today. I mean, I just
when I tell you, understand. Let's see, where are we? We got some time. We're gonna figure this out because I know the devil is like, nope, you're not gonna figure it out. But I am.
Well, he's a lie.
He
The
is.
devil is a
The
lie.
truth is not in him. But I know it's on this Google sheet. Let's see.
Okay, that works too.
Yep, it is here.
Awesome. Let me know when it starts. I'm going to bring it up.
Okay. Can you still see my screen?
I can.
All right.
And
It is up.
okay, hold on. Let me bring it up to the stage. Okay.
Okay. Do you see me at his memorial
I
stage?
see. Yes,
Okay.
and if anyone else is listening and you can see it, please throw something in the comments.
Okay, let's see if it'll play for me.
And let me see if I can. Oh, yes, I can see.
Okay, now just look
I
at
see the candles.
okay, they're still going.
Yeah.
You see any candles?
I see them right up by the stone, right?
Now you see that one that just came back up.
Oh my gosh.
And you can see his balloons that I
I
put out
can,
here.
yes. And I see
They
that
are
one
moving.
candle. It looks like, did you have three? Three candles?
Yes. It was the 4, the 9, and then the 3 candles on the HBD that's in the middle.
Let me see. So first of all, in the comments, Kay says, welcome, Charnelle. Then she says, can see it, but a tad bit small. Let me try something. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me see. No, let me see.
See if I can
This.
start it right here. I'll start it right when you see all the candles burning again.
Oh, it took hold on. Let me see. Let me add this back. There we go. Yeah, it's not going to let me make it
It's
bigger.
not okay.
But I mean, I can see it. I guess if somebody was on their phone, it might be a little
Probably.
small for them. But that was awesome.
Yes.
That was awesome. Thank you, Kay, for chiming in and letting us know. Um, so we have a couple more minutes before I open the phone lines.
Okay.
But what I'd like you to share is I know that you had mentioned to me that there's an event, a walk for
Yes.
homicide victims. Is that correct?
That is correct. There are several events, and I will try to say them as slowly as I can, just in case someone
Okay.
is writing them down.
Yeah,
We have,
and you can also put them in the comments.
okay,
And then of course when this is over, I wanted you to be able to bring it up on the podcast, but I do have the flyer and everything that you sent me. So when the podcast is over, I'm
yes.
going to upload that into the group page and the profile page as well.
Okay. So the first week in April is our Victims' Rights Week. We do a myriad of events just honoring the victims of homicides, any
Um,
crime victims. So Saturday, April the 5th, we have Harmony in the Park. That is going to be at Mill Point Park, and that is in Hampton, Virginia. That event is from 2 to 6. The next event, I'm trying to go in a row, we will be in Richmond at 111 East Broad Street. We are actually commemorating the 30th anniversary of our Virginia Crime Victims and Witness Rights Act. This is when
wow.
the act first became, when it first was established. And so that is our 30th year. And so we're going to go to the Capitol and we're just going to continue to honor our crime victims. The walk that you're speaking of is April the 9th, 2025 at 6 o'clock p.m. And it's the Victims' Rights Awareness Walk. You can bring pictures of your angels, you can bring pens or what have you. You walk in their honor. And when I come into contact with someone, doesn't matter if I knew their loved one or their angel or not, I
Right,
typically
right.
a little purse and I'll put their name in it. So they're walking with me and I'm walking in their honor. That is going to be at 4301 East Parham Road. And that is at the Henrico Police Memorial Plaza. And that is in Richmond, Virginia. So that
Okay.
one is the closest to you.
Yeah, I was gonna say Perham Road. That's very familiar to me. So yeah. Wow.
Yes. So, I mean, every victim witness organization is doing some type of event all week.
That
To
is
honor.
awesome, and I really do want to be. I want to kind of get out there and do a little bit. It took me some time to actually really. I've always wanted to get out there and do various things, but I wasn't able to. I wasn't ready.
Everybody
Um,
grieves differently, and it's
yeah,
okay not to be okay. It,
yeah,
it, it is perfectly
absolutely,
fine. No one knows your journey better than you.
absolutely. But if I would love it, like the information that you just shared, yeah, this will be up for people to go back and view. And since I
Okay.
was having problems with it going live, I always post it on the Facebook group page and the Facebook profile page, so it's going to be
Okay.
up there. But if you would please, I think you're a member of the group now.
Yes.
And I think you're also a member of the profile page. But if you
Yes.
would post that also,
Absolutely.
just keep posting anything that's coming up. I have listeners from all over, but I do have quite a few in the DMV area.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe we could pull something together where we can all go and maybe meet you and attend one of these events or
Absolutely.
something. That would be amazing.
We have a lot of survivors walk in the DC area.
Okay.
So I will definitely keep you abreast. I subscribe to a lot of their newsletters, especially with Moms Demanding Action. They have,
I
yes,
think I'm a part of that, but I haven't. I think I'm a part of that. Mom's demanding action,
they are
and I
all
get
over the place.
emails all the time, but
Mhm.
I haven't. Again, I just retired in January 3rd, and prior to that, I was still going through it. I was working full
Yes.
time. I was doing all of these different things. I started the podcast, the group, all of that. So I had a lot on my plate, and my was not very good. And
Mhm.
I've been working on that. But now that I'm officially retired, I can focus more on the group and doing more things. But I would love to get together with you and this is just awesome. I like that there's events going on in this
Absolutely.
area, DC or Richmond, for me.
Oh,
So,
yes.
and anyone, whatever you have going on in DC and Richmond, just put it out there. There might be someone in the group that's closer to Richmond or,
Absolutely.
Maryland or for DC, what have you. But, the more participation we get, the better, people. We have to advocate and we have to, be there for our angels and,
Yes.
especially homicide victims because it's got to stop.
One
And
life lost is one too many.
yes, exactly. It's a horrible crime and it causes horrific pain for us survivors,
The death
and
is 100% preventable. That's
exactly,
it.
exactly. Boy, you're awesome, Charnelle. I
Thank
am good.
you.
It's 6:34, so I do want to open the phone lines if anybody wants to call, and either share something, ask questions, or just give her kudos for coming on and taking her time to share with us. The phone lines are open. The number is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Oh, let me plug this back in just in case. And while we're waiting, and also people, if you don't, want to call in, the link is provided. If you want to come on the platform, you're more than welcome to do that. If you're camera shy or you're not ready to show your face or even put your name out there, but you want to come on the platform, click the link. You'll have the option to put whatever name in there that you want to put. In there, and you can choose like the avatar, so you're not actually being shown. So you have options. But phone lines are open. Click the link if you want to come in on the platform. And while we're waiting, Charnelle, I guess tell us more. We'd love to hear more.
Well, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you not only for allowing me to be on your platform, but in honoring your angel. It's very,
Thank you.
very hard for mothers to continue this fight. And I look at it just like I look at breast cancer awareness. No one fights alone. We are
Absolutely.
in a club that none of us asked to join. And so while we're here, I'm going to protect everybody that I can in this organization because they become your family.
Yes,
Total
indeed.
strangers that you never knew are helping you along this grief journey. And I share grief is lifelong. It's never ending.
Forever. Exactly.
And
It's
no
just
one
different
has a
levels.
right, absolutely, different levels. And no one can tell you how to grieve
That's
because
right.
they
Or
don't
when
know
to
you
stop
shared.
grieving.
Absolutely.
When to
They
stop
don't know
grieving.
you shared.
That's right.
They have
We have a
no idea.
lot of that. We have a lot of that. This stupid thing. I do have, some moms, angel moms in the group, and like that have mentioned that. I have a cousin actually too, Dr. Pam Reese. She was We have a caller. 1 second. My butterfly. Hello, butterfly.
Hey, ladies.
Hi. I can always
Hi
depend on
there.
you.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just calling. Well, for one, I was just calling to say to Charnel that I know it takes a lot for you to have to retell those stories, even though that's kind of the field that you're in. So I just wanted to tell you that I respect your strength for doing that, especially without crying. Um, and I mean, I also respect your strength because, like, Donna's son is my brother. That was my baby brother. So losing him was very hard for me. I couldn't imagine losing somebody else that close to me that soon. I don't think I would have survived that. Um, so I really commend you for your strength and for you turning your pain and stuff into helping other people. I think people fail to realize how much people like us need other people like
Yes.
us.
Absolutely.
You don't realize it until you're one of those people, but once you become one of those people, support from other people who can relate is just, I mean, support in general is amazing, but when it's somebody who actually can relate to what you feel, it's just like a little different.
Absolutely.
Um,
Thank you so
you're
much.
welcome. You're welcome. So just keep up the good work. Believe it or not, somebody needs somebody like you every day. Same thing I tell my mom, like, even if only 4 people are watching versus like 40 at one time, like, somebody needs this at some point in
Absolutely.
their life.
Yes.
So just keep going, and that's all I was calling in to say.
Well,
Well,
before
thank
you
you.
hang up, Charnel, how many victims of homicide are siblings that you work with? Do
Oh
you work
God.
with more moms, or do you have quite a bit of siblings that you work with?
I work with more parents than anything, unfortunately. I work with
Okay.
more parents than anything. Um, and I try to tell the parents, until you take care of you, you can't tell your kids, you can't help them heal. And a
Yeah.
lot of times, we're mama bears. We want to protect all the rest of our kids when we're broken, and we can
Hmm.
do more damage because we're teaching our kids, oh no, it's okay just to keep going, keep going. No, they need to see that brokenness. They need
Mm,
to see that I'm human. I do this work every day, but I am human and I'm not exempt from pain.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I
Absolutely.
think that is very, very important.
Yeah. Well, what would you think about maybe coordinating something together for siblings of homicide? Because the grief they go through it too within
Absolutely.
themselves, as well as having to watch mom and dad go through it, and they kind of like with dads, I think siblings tend to be forgotten at times too, you know.
We do. And I saw something with one of my survivors in my group. She said there's a name for when a spouse loses their spouse, they become a widow. And when a child loses their parent, they become an orphan. But there's nothing for when a
Mm,
parent loses their child.
mm,
No word for it. Every
mm,
other entity, there is a word for that loss, but
yeah.
never. And siblings, I tend to look at siblings as a method to help that cohesiveness, to
Mm,
help the family, because you just share a bond. And I felt like I was robbed because I'm the only child, and that was the
mm,
closest thing that I could have ever had to a brother.
yeah, I can
So now
imagine.
I'm truly an only child. So I think siblings, they are very integral. They are very important, and I think that we can learn a lot from the love that they shared with their angel.
Mm,
Mhm.
that's awesome.
It's
Yeah. It's
it's just
it's hard
different.
when you're the sibling because I mean, this is somebody that you basically started your life out with, and you plan to like at least spend majority of your life with. And for I mean, I'm sure it's the same across the board for all siblings, but when you're the oldest, it's just so much different because like that was my baby too. You know what
Mm,
I mean?
Right.
Especially there's a what 20-year age gap between Malik and I, so like I changed his diapers. I babysat him,
That was your baby.
So yeah,
That
exactly.
was
So it's
your
kind of like,
baby.
you lose your babies too. And I mean, I don't think we get forgotten about. I just think that people tend to assume that like, well, their pain can't be as bad as the mom, or
mm,
it's not that bad because it wasn't their child, but it is that bad
It
because
is
mm,
that bad.
it,
And I
it
said,
just
and
is.
I ask people, how do you measure what a broken heart looks like? All you see is the outer. You see what I'm showing you, but
mhm,
you can't
Right.
see what's inside my heart. You can't see the pain. I don't allow you to always see the tears that fall or the times where I don't even feel like getting out of bed. You only see what I show you. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But that pain is
Absolutely.
It's very deep. It's very deep. And we're also left with what not necessarily is a responsibility, but to us feels like a responsibility is to make sure that our parents are okay throughout it too. So it's just like, it's not a burden at all. It's just like or I can speak for myself. Like sometimes I will put what I'm feeling on the back burner because I want to make sure that my mom is good, or if my other brother's having a bad day, like my focus is on saying the right things to them, you know, but it's a heavy weight to carry. It's a heavy weight.
And it's a weight that you should not have even to have to carry.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Me up that people just don't value human lives anymore. Yeah, I apologize.
At all.
Going all in the back. But I just it really I want to know what goes through someone's mind when they pick up a gun or any type of weapon and decide that person's life is no longer valuable.
Exactly. Like, what are you thinking? How do you think that's okay?
And I mean, I will never understand how someone just does not value human life.
And it's like the younger they get, the worse it is.
Yep.
You know, it's really lately anyway, the past few years, it's been our juveniles that just have no regard for life, period. And obviously no regard for their own life, their family's life, you know, because that ripple effect, no home training, the respect is out the window, no loyalty. Like, it's crazy. There's loyalty, but it's always to the wrong
people.
It's the wrong people. And it's just crazy. But Keandra, just thank you so much.
Thank you so
for coming on and speaking with Scharnelle and for your kind words. We do appreciate it.
Of
now,
course.
Were you able to hear better on the phone, by the way, Kay?
Oh yeah, it was much better today.
Okay, I fixed it, girl.
Yeah, it was much better today.
Awesome.
You got it. But again, I can't thank you for doing this because you are a testament of what moms and what dads can do. And it's just your resilience. And I thank you because you are honoring Malik and he is extremely proud of you.
I'm trying and I really hope he is.
That's what I tell her all the time.
She does.
Good. We're going to tell her together. Maybe she'll listen.
Kay stays on me. I tell you.
Well, that's because I know my brother, like if my brother was here and he saw, like say it wasn't him, it was somebody else and my mom was doing something like this, he's the type that will be so like extrally excited, like, yo, this is so dope. That's his energy.
Yeah.
So. He'd be like, yo, my mom got a podcast. Y'all better check her. Like, that's what
right.
Yeah, so he had a wonderful spirit, great energy. Great energy.
And I think it just takes a really special individual to push through their own pain to help somebody else.
Well, I don't think I'm special. I just think, again, I thought about,
I'm going to stop you on your podcast.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and stop her, please.
You are special. I am not about to let you downgrade. No, ma'am. I will not allow you to do that. You are special because you didn't have to allow me to be here. You didn't.
Well, I am happy that you're here and I appreciate you. And, anytime I deal with somebody that is out there to help another that is experiencing that pain, I love it. I love it.
I don't care if that is your food. You better get your ass off.
Oh,
guys, I'm gonna go ahead and my dog is bringing out the other side of me. And this a public platform.
We real.
Okay.
I'm about to strip her down to where my mom at in a minute.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. She try to take advantage of me because I'm on the phone. I see you.
Well, Sadie was having a minute over at your mom's house when we were doing our
Yeah, barking and everything. I just can't with these dogs.
These dogs is worse than the kids. I'm telling you.
Oh gosh. All right,
But,
Kay.
all right. Okay. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you so
You
much.
too.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh, he has me cracking up. So there's another comment. It's the journey of grief. Her name is Laverne. She's another awesome one. Charnelle. She I hope I'm not saying this wrong, but it's like a form of like poetry, like what you did, but she does the audio. And Laverne, if you're still listening, if you want to go ahead and pop the link in there in the comments, that would be fantastic. Yeah, she's a great supporter as well. She's on her journey of grief, just like we are. And she's amazing. She has a YouTube channel as well.
Awesome.
And she has a site where if you want to buy her a cup of coffee, things like that. But check her out. Laverne, if you are Journey of Grief, if you are, go ahead and pop the links in the comments for me. But she's also, I always also have it on the group page too. But yeah, and then we have another one. Her name is Deborah. She is, I think it's Tennessee, and she lost her child to fentanyl. She has a whole group on Facebook. She does all these amazing things. She's got like the big posters and things like that, making like keychains and things. The people in her group are amazing. And she's a big supporter. She hasn't really missed a podcast, but she has other things that she's dealing with. But whenever she has that opportunity, she is right on here supporting us. So
absolutely. I will definitely check her out as well.
Okay, awesome. Geez, well, this was a very good podcast, very informative. I'm really excited about those events. Well, I'm kind of getting into, I have a little bit more energy than what I used to have. So I'm looking forward to being involved, in things like that.
Absolutely. And we also, I don't know how far Springfield is from you, but we do have a Springfield, we have an in-person homicide support group that meets in Springfield.
Springfield. Is that the one at the police station?
Yes, Springfield and Fairfax. Mm-hmm.
And I attended that.
Did you really?
I did. So, because that's
with
crazy.
Leanna.
It was a while. It was like the very beginning after I lost my son, because I got a lot of information through the victim's homicide here in Virginia. Probably you probably were a part of that as well. That's how I found Dr. Marcy, and the one in Springfield I did attend. I think just once or twice, but I think it was because of the time frame. And I was working and trying to go from my job to Springfield to home. It was a bit much. Yeah, and I think I still get emails from them every now and then. But that was amazing too. Even though I was only there the first, couple of times, I really enjoyed it. And I am kind of looking for that in-person thing. Just one, because I have my group going on, then with Dr. Marcy going on. But I would absolutely love to have at least one in-person place that I could go to, even if it's once a month.
Definitely give you that information. But yes, so we have 9 total groups throughout Virginia. We even have a homicide support group for Spanish-speaking survivors.
Nice.
Yes. So I'm trying to branch closer to the DC area, but the one thing that I love is that our facilitator for Springfield, she is now certified to host groups in DC and Maryland. So,
well, see, I would prefer because with DC, you've got a few issues going on. You have the traffic. You have the confusion with all of the one-way streets. Then you have the parking issues. Traffic probably being the number one.
We can stay in Springfield. This is just for any other listeners that may be closer. I just wanted to let you know that we do have homicide support groups that are all throughout the state of Virginia too.
Yes.
Virtual and in person.
Awesome. Yeah. And just when you get a moment, I know you've shared a lot of information, but whenever you get a moment, please throw it into the group page and onto the profile page as well, so that anybody, like I said, I have a lot of listeners from the DMV area. Of course, everyone's spread out, but if anyone is listening, take advantage of this. It's always good to be around others that already know what you're going through, because you know why? Because you don't have to explain anything. They
Yeah.
already know,
I'm glad
and
you
it's a
said
big,
that.
yes, they already know that you don't have to explain. And, because of that, we know how to support one another.
Absolutely.
We know what not to say. I had a whole episode on that too, on what not to
What not
say.
to
And
do. Oh,
oh Lord, yes.
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 So on my homicide support page, we have a Facebook page, and I searched and searched for I wanted the right cover photo, and I came across this, and I said, this is 100% what it is. It says, grief. For those of us who understand, no explanation is needed.
Oh wow.
For those of us who do not, no description is possible.
Mm.
And I said, that thing right there,
Yes.
that's it.
Yes.
That's it. But sometimes there are no words to describe the pain that we feel.
That's right. You can't
write
explain it.
You
It's
can't
so traumatic. It's so, I can't even think of the word, but I use the word excruciating a lot because that's what it is. But it's horrific.
Yes.
Horrific. I've never felt that kind of pain.
An undescribable pain that
It is.
never leaves you.
So put that in. Look, anything that's gonna
I got you.
throw it in there.
Yes.
And I would love to keep in touch. It is 6:54, people. We have time to take another caller if anybody would like to call. Scrolling at the bottom. If you want to come on board real quick, the link is it's posted in the page. Click on that link. We'll get you on board. But give us a call or come on in, ask questions, go ahead and tell your story if need be, or just give Scharnelle some kudos and encouragement for what she's doing for us today. But yeah, so anyway, Scharnelle, we'll give them a couple of minutes, but
okay.
Yeah, I am excited that now, even like I would, if I had to, I would go to Richmond, if possible. I think I had talked to you before and told you I have a nephew and a niece that lives in Midlothian. Midlothian. I can never get that.
That's all right. I knew what you. I think we have someone that just commented. Is she familiar with the Compassionate Friends? No, I am not.
Yeah, that's Laverne that I was just telling you about. She's with the Journey of Grief. Laverne, did you want to call in real quick or come on the platform real quick and explain what that is? We have a few minutes left.
I'm taking notes so that I can Google.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. We'd love to hear more, Laverne. If you have a moment, just either give us a quick call or click on the link and let us know. Share that with us.
And I will put each flyer on your platform so that they have access to those as well.
Yes. And then, if you want on your support group, put your link up there. I'll allow all that to come through. With the private page, because I have to protect those that are in the group. We have a lot of trolls out there, a lot of just mean people that try to take advantage of us grieving people, right? So I had to change it from public to private, and I'm very particular on who posts what. And Laverne is calling. Hold on a second. Okay. Hey, Laverne, how are you, honey?
I'm good.
Good to hear from you. I'm getting a little
fine.
Good.
Okay, I can hear her.
Okay. So you want to tell Scharnelle a little bit about what this Compassionate Friends is about?
I hear some feedback. But I don't hear.
Is that better? I turned the
Much better.
Much,
Yes, we were getting a
yes.
little bit of delay. Thank you, Laverne.
the Compassionate Friends. They support the families after a child dies. It could be, any type of death, not necessarily homicide, but they have support groups all over the United States. I think they have a couple in Virginia, and I know they have one in Maryland.
Okay.
They don't have anyone in DC, but um, I attended a few sessions in the Maryland group. That was way back in 2001, but they're still, very active, and they have every year they have a conference
Okay.
that you could attend and meet other mothers too. But they have
Oh,
a lot of resources on their webpage, thecompassionatefriends.org. Mm-hmm.
compassionatefriends.org. Let me
Thank you so much for that.
you said the compassionate or just compassionate friends?
The website is compassionatefriends.org. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll check into that as well.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was very helpful when I attended those sessions. Because like you say, you don't have to explain anything to anybody.
Right.
They know why you're there and they understand why you're there, and they're there to support you. So
Absolutely.
That's
let me see.
awesome.
Well,
I think
thank you so much,
Mhm.
Ms. Laverne, for that information. I definitely will look in it. And if I can attend the conference, that will be something that I will bring to my boss's attention because I think it's needed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they just had it in Virginia last year, so it's going to be somewhere else this year.
Okay, so they rotate or they go to different areas each year.
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And how have you been doing, Laverne? You been doing okay?
Yes, just making my videos to keep my mind occupied.
I know that's
you know.
right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah. So
Charnel
the
is gonna
YouTube
be.
channel is the. Hmm.
Oh, go. I'm sorry. Your YouTube channel, is that, how's that going?
It's going good. I got like 51 subscribers, so I'm happy about that.
Yes.
Well, you're
Um,
about to have
are
52.
you still? Thank you.
You are welcome.
You just said something about Midlothian, Virginia, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, so on their website it says Saint Matthias Episcopal Church in
I know what that
Midlothian.
is.
So that's where they
Oh,
have a chapter there.
Awesome.
Mm,
nice. Very
yeah.
informative. Thank you so much, Laverne.
You're welcome.
And if you can join us for any of the events that Charnel mentioned, please do. I'm going to try to make a couple of them if I can. That would be awesome.
Okay.
And I will pass along any
Okay, I'll
virtual
see what my
events that they
schedule.
have as well.
That's awesome. Please do. Please do. All right. Well, it is now 7 o'clock. Again, Laverne, thank you so much for coming
You're
on and sharing
welcome.
that information. And feel free,
You're
Laverne, to,
welcome.
put your stuff out there too on the page. I know you have, already, but, anytime you want to share anything else, feel free. I'll make sure that I allow the links to come in.
Okay, I'll do one right now.
Okay. Yay.
All right,
right.
ladies.
All right. God bless.
God bless. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, it was successful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, I appreciate you coming on. We can do it again sometime. Maybe if there's anything
Absolutely.
else going on, and let's stay in contact with each other, and
Absolutely.
try to maybe
Sorry, you're
coordinate
stuck
something.
with me. You're stuck with me. Don't get rid of
Yay!
me now.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Whew. Well, we're going to call it a night. Thank you, everybody, for listening and joining and calling in. We appreciate you. Go ahead and check out the Facebook group page, the Facebook profile page for any information. Feel free to go ahead to YouTube if you didn't catch the whole episode, you want to catch up, please refer your friends. There's lots of podcast videos, past ones on there, some that may or may not help depending on where you are in the grieving stages, but we have a lot of good podcasts on there. As far as grief, stages of grief, for people working on forgiveness, things on there, our siblings that joined in. Feel free to take a look at those, and while you're at it, just go ahead and subscribe to the page. I'm not going to send you any spam or anything, and I don't get any money for any of this, guys. I do this for free. My time is free. My help is free. What I do is free. This is to honor my son Malik, and to help other grieving moms and dads. So thank you, Scharnelle, again.
You are welcome. You are welcome. And all of our homicide support groups activities are free as well.
Awesome. So I hope you guys heard that. Please share the information as well. If it's not something that you can use right now, that's okay. But if you know somebody that could use attend these events that might be helpful, please give back, share it, with people so that they can, benefit from it. So I hope to see everybody at one of the events. And Scharnelle, I would love to have you back sometime in the future, and we will stay in touch.
Absolutely. Have a great night.
Okay, you do the same. Well, lovely people, we are signing off. I hope you enjoyed our episode this week. Be sure to tune in next Sunday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And remember, no matter how old or how young, our children will forever be our babies. We just have one with wings. Be gentle with yourself and take all the time you need to heal. Thanks for joining. Good night. All right. Good night. Thank you, Scharnelle. Have a good one.